Hey friends, what's up? It's Dr. Joe with another Stats and Tats video. I've gotten a few questions from my students about this new software package, which actually I already really love. It's called JASP, and it's an alternative to SPSS that is free and open source, so it runs on Mac and Windows PCs and Chromebooks. Actually, being a Chromebook available app is a game changer just because SPSS, as you probably know, doesn't run on Chromebook. So this is a brilliant alternative. And if you want to look it up, actually the website, if you just type in JASP, it's an acronym, it'll pop up and it'll take you to the download site and everything like that, but it is legit. So a few students have asked me about like how to run it, what happens and everything like that. So just a quick initial run through. So I've already downloaded it and it's just here. So I'm going to open it up real quick. And so yeah, just quick little like, hey, blah, 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 if you want to open a file, yada, yada, yada. You can start a new data set. And what I like about this, and you can see at the very top of the screen, it kind of got cut off, is there's a place to run descriptives, t-tests, ANOVA. Basically, you tell it what you want. If you think of the contrast to SPSS, where it's menu-based, where it says, analysis, you got to go down to compare means, one sample t-test, paired sample t-test, like this. This is actually just cleaner. Granted, the analysis is going to be a little bit limited, right? So if you're running structural equation modeling, this is not really what you want to run it in. But what's nice is you can actually just run through this. It's very good for beginners, basically. If you're not really confident in your ability with statistics, or you're not sure what you need to run based on the data you've got, this is going to be the way forward because it's so accessible. And one of the questions that comes up inevitably is, okay, well, do I have to convert all my SPSS files? The traditional SPSS file designation is a SAV file. And so what I want to just show you real quick is if we go to open something, so keep in mind, like there's no converted files. I've done a test run already, so here's a SPSS file I've already run. But let me just go ahead and show you real quick. You'll just open it as if it was just a normal data set from SPSS. So here's one here. You'll notice it's still got the SAV file designation, like this. And then all you got to do is double click. Right? This is a study I'm doing recently here, like so, and immediately it pops up. So literally just straight out of an SAV file into this, and now I can run whatever I need to in terms of these different analysis types. One of the questions that might come up is, okay, well, where in SPSS I've got the button that allows me to toggle between data view and variable view. It's usually right down here at the bottom. In this case, what you'll do is just double click on the variables, and it brings up a little variable view menu, which is really nice. And you'll notice here too, down here, what it's doing is it's designated the responses in terms of the Likert scale. So for this particular instrument, I was using a Likert scale about anxiety. And so it had, fewer than, never, sometimes, half the days, Likert scale. And I believe it was a 7-item Likert scale, or 5, I can't recall, it doesn't matter. And at the moment, it's showing the actual responses, which is good in case you want to get a visual of what people are saying and maybe words are more easily interpreted in terms of like how you think about things. Maybe you can see patterns easier that way. But what's nice is if I just pop up here to the column type and go from ordinal to scale, you'll notice that variable that I clicked on is now converted into the numeric scale. And then when I run something like a correlation or a t-test or whatever, it's there in that format in case you want to run it. This is actually something that I've not seen SPSS do in this kind of easily done way, right? So there are ways around it, but this is so straightforward. And if I would decide I don't want to leave it that way, I can just convert it back to ordinal once the labels are reconverted like this. So just a really cool way to access it like this. And you can, of course, convert all of the labels this way here too. But the data, I think, is just brilliant. And you can actually convert this over from Excel files too. So this particular program will not only open SAV files like from SPSS, but will also open Excel files as well, which once again, not to oversell it, but it's just a game changer because traditionally if you want to use Excel, you would use more like other programs. So it interacts with things like R and SAS and these other ones, which sometimes, R and SAS actually have pretty steep learning curves, and so a lot of times people don't want to have to go that route with it, whereas SPSS, in addition to being code-based, is menu-based, which makes it a lot easier. This one just takes it that step further. So particularly if you were a student or even if you're an educator, this is actually an excellent tool to make the analyses and the whole process that much more straightforward. I've only just discovered this recently. A good professor friend of mine pointed this out to me, and like I said, just a brilliant product. I say product, they're not selling it. It's free, so just a brilliant tool that can make your data analysis that much easier. But I just want to throw it on here just to kind of walk some of my students through and give anybody a heads up in terms of how to open JASP. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.